When I was a teenager, I was a rebel. And up until really recently in my life, I absolutely regretted it. I didn't quite understand it about myself. It was something that I often joked about. But in this phase that I'm walking into, I'm looking at things a little differently. And for the first time in my life, it's something that I'm accepting. I accept it about myself. I recently wrote a journal entry and I would like to share it with you guys. I feel like that will help me articulate how I'm feeling the best way, better than I can just come up on the camera and say right now. So I titled it Alchemy. You might find that some of these words resonate with you. Something that has been on my mind lately is the concept of alchemy, turning setbacks in my life into a catalyst for my transformation. For so long, I rejected and misunderstood aspects of myself. Whether it was my ADHD, my challenging upbringing with a single mother, or my rebellious spirit, I labeled these traits as flaws, burdens, or curses. I've spent years daydreaming about a different life, caught in the belief that these flaws have held me back. Could be so much further without them. As I enter this chapter of acceptance and true self-love, I'm forced to observe these parts of myself through a different set of lenses. I'm learning to embrace all parts of them. God has shown me repeatedly that I don't always understand what is best for me in real time. Sometimes we don't understand the why, but every part of our story has purpose. Often the very things that we have once tried to escape are sources of growth. Those very things have shaped my resilience, creativity, authenticity, autonomy, traits you just cannot buy. The truth is, I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And that is a good thing, not a bad one. I'm choosing to honor these pieces of myself. The parts that once made me feel broken, small, and worthless. They are not flaws, they are fuel. And when embraced, they turn into my superpower. Literally this morning, I looked into the mirror as I got out of the shower and I just really looked at myself, and it wasn't long before tears were streaming down my face. And I'm telling myself that I'm beautiful and I love myself and that I accept myself through all that we've been through. It just felt like such a deep moment, especially with what I'm telling you is on my mind. I've had a lot of issues with accepting the cards that I've been dealt and understanding my journey and accepting my mistakes or setbacks or downfalls. Everything down to the way that I look. Like, I feel like that moment that I had in the mirror, I was speaking to a 7-year-old version of myself, a 14-year-old version of myself, even a version of myself just 2, 3 years ago. Down to issues with my appearance and accepting how my skin looks or how my hair looks or how my lips look. I've been unsure about everything that I've possessed at some point. I've truly devalued myself. And while I don't walk around, thank God, thinking about myself like that every day, I've come a long way. There's still some healing to be done there. It takes time to really tackle and dismantle some of these beliefs that have been instilled in us in such a young age. I'm not trying to be sad and sappy. I'm just a little bit emotional about it today. I'm so grateful for walking into this season of truly seeing myself for me and truly valuing myself and truly appreciating myself. And it's an ongoing journey. It's a realization that comes again and again in many shapes and form, but we are unlearning and breaking down the ways of our old selves, and we're walking into this new life, into this new reality where everything that we desire, we can possess. And I truly believe that that is something possible for me. That is something possible for all of us. But that very much conflicts with oh, I love myself, but I'm carrying this regret, this hatred, this misunderstanding for a version of myself 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 18 years ago, or even still today. In the journal entry, I had mentioned something about either my ADHD or my upbringing or my rebellious spirit as a teenager. That's a huge one. That rebellion, for example, rebellion doesn't have to be this horrible thing that, of course, my parents, bless them, experienced that I've had so much shame for and I didn't quite understand because most people aren't. They don't grow up like that. Most people that I observe, they did things the right way, or they grew up in a stable upbringing with a stable household and in the same place, going to the same school. Like most people didn't grow up like me, and that has caused so much shame. I really, really did classify it as a burden, like something that has set me back, something that I would be so much further today if I just had a stable upbringing and went to the same school district and had the same friends around me in the same state. Oh my gosh, like if only I listened to my mom and I did what I was supposed to, where would I be today? I could have used my teenagers as a head start, but instead I just marched to the own beat of my drum and I got in so much trouble. As a result, I created more trauma and toxicity for myself. Rather than looking at my rebellion as a value of autonomy or a trait of independence, of authenticity, of freedom, of passion, of being a creative thinker. Yes, being wounded is a trait or something that comes with rebellion. Perhaps I was wounded because I felt misunderstood or unsupported or judged or neglected. Yes, there is a wound to be tended to there. Yes, there is some work to be done there. But there's so much more beautiful thing that comes with that rebellious spirit. Much like the wounds that I still carry today, I still possess those intangible, irreplaceable, priceless traits. Instead of dwelling on why me, why did I get handed these cards? I could be so much further if not. Now I have to work through this trauma. Now I have to figure this out. Now I'm so much more behind than I could have ever been. Instead of focusing it on that, well, it happened. Thank God. Thank God we made it through it. Thank God that I am here. Thank God that I have the experiences. Thank God that I have changed. Thank God that I have healed. Now, what can I do with what I have left? What can I do with my story? What can I do with my experiences? What can I do with my soul? What can I do with who I am? We have to deal with the cards that we were dealt. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And as I'm talking, the movie that pops into my head is Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched that. And it's so crazy that it pops into my head. I haven't watched it anytime recently. I watched it a long, long time ago. But from what I remember, that story was about this poor kid in India who got a chance to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And all of the experiences and all of what life has thrown at him and the craziness of living in the slums of India. Every moment had led him to that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And he had an experience, he had a point in time that he could refer to that was the keys to him answering all of the questions right and winning $1 million to the point that the people were hunting him down like, dude, what did you do? Did you cheat? Like this little boy who's nothing, how did you win? That is so deep and that is so powerful that these crazy elaborate stories that you would see as curses or as something horrible was the very story that he was able to tap into and think back on that gave him the answer, that gave him the keys to riches, financial riches. That just popped in my head for a reason. That's pretty much what I need to share. That's what's on my mind today. It's just acceptance. Acceptance is such a huge part of self-love. And I go through segments of feeling this deeply. But this is the first time that I kind of felt it isolated of like getting my heart broken from a breakup or a disappointment or like some crazy life change, which I am undergoing a lot of life changes, a lot of transformation, but it doesn't have this deep heavy, gut-wrenching feeling that it usually comes with. And I'm just trying to take the time to reflect and notice how far I've come and where I'm going. And acceptance of it all has just been really huge to me right now. A need and a desire to be kinder to myself, to love on myself more truly. Like, truly, what does loving myself look like? It takes a lot of work to unlearn the programming. It takes a lot of work, and that's why that's why most of us stay stuck with this negative self-talk. Like the things I used to say to myself, I'm a black sheep. Nobody likes me. I'm misunderstood. I'm slow. I'm ditzy. People just don't like me that much. I never fit in. I'll never fit in. People just don't get me. I'm not worthy of having friends. I don't gel easily, or I don't gel well with people. All of which is absolute lies. All of which I have proven myself otherwise multiple times. But that's the story that I started to create for myself. I can't focus on things. I can't finish things. I can't complete things. I'll never be organized. I'll never work like a proper person. I would be so much further if my brain just worked like everybody else's. I'd be so much further if I had both of my parents growing up. I would be so much further if I grew up and had a stable upbringing, staying in one school district, one state, one home my whole life. If I didn't have to be completely isolated my senior year. If I went to college and if I finished college. I would be so much further. Who knows who I would have met? Who knows if I would have been married? Who knows? Who the fuck knows and who the fuck cares? Honestly, what is the point in wasting and putting your energy into this delusion, this hamster wheel of what could have been or how this could have been your golden ticket out, or beating yourself up over things that never happened? Like, what kind of delusion is that to choose to subscribe to? There's so many better delusions that you can, put your time, put your energy into. I got tired of singing that same song, believing that same story. Like, that's so exhausting, saying such mean and hurtful and down things to myself. It's not the story that I want to believe or write anymore. And I promise you, I'm not sad. I'm just emotional. I'm just like thinking about all of this, but I feel good. I feel really happy. I feel really grateful. And I'm just happy to be me in this body, with this mind, with these thoughts, navigating through this life, with these dreams, with these hopes, with these goals. I'm really happy and honored and grateful to be me. Doing this thing called life with me, rocking through this thing, overcoming challenge after obstacle, rocking in this journey with me and God. Like, I am grateful. All I can be. It's not all I can be, but it's what I choose to be. From this moment onwards, no more negative self-talk about these aspects of my upbringing and my childhood that I can't do anything about and that I cannot control. And that's it.